Good morning, twinnies. How are you guys today? We're going to see what's going on in the connections, in the twin flame connections, divine counterpart connections, what's going on with your person, what does your person want you to know about your part in this journey, okay? I always find that that is more helpful in getting to where you want to be when it comes to this connection with your twin or your divine masculine. We always need to look at what we're doing to either create separation or to call in union energies. Okay, we all know that separation is an illusion anyway, and whatever our divine masculine is showing us, or whatever our person is showing us, is always a reflection of what is going on inside of us in some kind of way. All right, so I don't know why I went on that spiel. I never do. So let's just see, divine masculine, what do you want us divine feminines to know today in regards to the journey? Some of you are really having a hard time with trust, is what I'm getting. Swallowing some sort of information or something that you've seen. Okay, you might, like, your person might be talking to other people or might be in a relationship, like you guys might be separated, but you still feel connected to them, okay? For others of you, there was something that happened, like some of you are together. There was a conversation that took place or some sort of confrontation that took place. Okay, so divine masculine wants you to know that, and when I say the divine masculine, I'm always talking about your divine masculine aspect of your higher self, which you both share. It's not just one person's the divine feminine, one person's the divine masculine. But when I refer to them as divine masculine and us as divine feminine, it's because we that resonate with this energy are here to practice integrating divine feminine energy, because divine masculine energy comes natural to us. So it's about incorporating both and learning how to use both, and vice versa for them. Divine feminine energy comes naturally to them. They're learning how to embody divine masculine energy. So that's why I refer to it as that. If you're new here, I feel like this message is going to reach a bunch of new people, hence why I went on that and explaining all of that. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll answer them. But there is a sense of that being balanced out. So whatever information you just found out or whatever you did just find out, one, it was karmic in nature, meaning it had to happen because it is catalyzing some sort of transformation and change when it comes to your emotional world, divine feminine. It's forcing you to go really deep into your own feelings and question. It's forcing you to go deep within and question things about your own self, what you believe to be true. And it's difficult. And this is where the trust thing comes in, because some of you, whatever this is something that isn't necessarily like a bad thing, but you may be viewing it with negative connotations. You may see it with negative connotations, and you're just not really sure what it means for your connection and for you, and what you're really supposed to do with this information. Like, where do you stand with it? This is what you're struggling with. Like, where do I stand when it comes to this? Okay, so the Ace of Wands here is letting us know that there is it's going to sound really backwards, but this is actually this thing. You're not going to think so right away, but this situation is actually calling you guys closer together. It's really weird. It's like, and you don't need to figure it all out yet. You don't need to figure out, well, if this is bringing us closer, I don't even know how I feel about this thing yet. Like, do I even want to be close to them? You might be in that space, and that's completely valid, divine feminine. You don't need to be the one to work it all out. I think there is, what is really being called for right now is your higher self is really calling for you to just acknowledge how you feel and acknowledge where you're at, and just be open to your stance changing, to your awareness expanding on this when it comes to this thing, and your stance really shifting and changing. Because I think if this had happened years ago, you would have definitely felt, you knew you would have felt a certain negative way about it. but you're really being asked to just, because you are genuinely in this space of, well, I don't know, I don't even know if this is a bad thing or not. Like, you don't have all the answers. And simultaneously, the Page of Swords is also like getting more information, getting that information that you need to make a decision or to come to a certain conclusion within yourself, within your feelings. But this new opportunity for closeness, for a sense of reunion, okay, joy, happiness, you're going to find, and there's already proof of this in your life when it comes to your person, that it's forcing you both to be closer instead of away. So whatever had taken place, whatever had transpired, I think that was sort of like what was keeping you guys physically apart. So now that this is all coming to a head, I feel like the only way that you guys can go, you guys can't necessarily go further apart. You actually have to look to each other and go towards each other, as scary as it might be. I'm also hearing that you guys need to give yourself way more credit, okay? Some of you are really grappling with, like, am I going to be able to trust this person? Am I going to, like, it's not about me, can I trust this person? It's, can I make that decision to trust that person? Because trusting someone, yes, someone can easily take away our ability to trust them, but for the most part, trust is a decision within the self. To trust somebody else, that is a decision that we make. And I don't think people talk about that enough. When you say you trust someone, trust is never a given. Trust is a choice, just as love is. So you are in this space where you're like, am I going to be able to trust this person? Like, do I have it in me to trust this person? Because in the past, if this was anybody else, the answer would be no, because you know that they would not be someone who was worthy of that trust. Okay. And if this is a true twin flame relationship, this is not someone who is out there like doing the wrong thing, doing wrong by you. This is not someone who's doing that. So if that's your situation, this is not your reading. Okay. Don't try to make it fit. I will just delete those comments because they're annoying. Okay, 5 of Pentacles and the High Priestess. So yeah, this is you really sort of trying to intuit whether or not this is a situation where you will be left out in the cold. And the truth is, when we're talking about a divine counterpart connection, when we're talking about a twin flame relationship, we're talking about the idea that this person is literally another version of you, just in a different incarnation with different experiences, but on a soul level, they literally are. It's like a clone almost, but you both are just as real. It's not like one is the main clone and the other's the copy. No, like you're both equally the same being, but experiencing being a being in a different way. So, and that's what creates the illusion of separation, because you're not literally viewing them as physically another version of you. So if this is really your person, if this is really your twin, then they are another version of you. So you can ask yourself, can I trust them? Can I trust myself? And I think that's what this really comes down to. Wow. I think that's what this really comes down to, Divine Feminine. Can you trust yourself? And I think that's the question you're going to be asking yourself. Can I trust myself? And you know the answer. You can always trust yourself. You can always rely on yourself. Even when you can't, you can always decide to rely on yourself. So, look at this, the Star. This situation is bringing you to a deeper healing. This situation is actually calling you deeper into your healing. This is probably the first time in the last couple of years that you have been faced with a situation that you really questioned, can I do this? Can I heal this? The answer is always going to be yes, because it wouldn't be coming up if you weren't able to heal it, if you weren't ready for it, if you weren't up for it. Being ready and up for something, especially when it comes to healing, doesn't mean you're not going to be scared of it. Doesn't mean you're not going to question it. Doesn't mean you're not going to be confused. Doesn't mean you're not going to be absolutely terrified, petrified. And because you are, doesn't mean that you can't handle it. Okay, these ones wanted to come out. What have we got? Okay, we've got the 3 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles. Ooh, okay, I'm feeling like inside me, I'm feeling like a flow of different emotions, and now I'm getting chills. So I'm just going to pause. I'm just going to meditate on these 4 cards, and then I'll come back and tell you what I'm getting from them. Okay, so whatever this was that sort of like shattered your reality, it shattered your perception of your divine masculine completely, okay? It's also let you see how much of a pedestal you had your person on, your masculine, your divine masculine. How much of a pedestal you had them on, okay? And that needed to break, that needed to come down. You needed to see that they're human. As much as this connection is spiritual and on a deep soul level, they are just as much of a human being as you are. What you don't see though, Divine Feminine, is that this is actually allowing something that's much more stable and a deep sense of confidence within not only yourself, but within your counterpart and vice versa, that couldn't have existed had this situation not happened. Okay? So there's 2 things going on here. The one thing is, can I trust myself? Can I trust myself to trust this person? And is it safe for me to trust this person because of past trauma is making you question whether it's safe? Intuitively, you know that it's safe, and you know that this is just part of your healing. They've just brought up something. Okay, it doesn't mean that they've done something bad or done something wrong, but it's scared your nervous system, it's shocked your nervous system into thinking that it might have. And that's what you're sort of leaving space to grapple with, and that's fine. You will come to whatever conclusion you're supposed to come to. And the second thing that's going on is your perception of this person has been completely broken, in the sense of they're down off that pedestal now. You didn't realize how much you idolized this person, and you thought that they were perfect. And you've realized now that they're not. They're just a man, they're just a woman, they're just a person. They're down on your level now. So because now they're on your level, things can really balance out and things can really begin to grow and build, okay? You didn't realize how much you were comparing yourself to them and how much you were comparing their ability, their sense of ability in this world to you. And this is actually a beautiful thing. Whoever this message is for, you are now on equal playing fields. You put them there, okay? Subconsciously, we do that, right? Especially if we've got a lot of trauma. Someone healthy comes along and we have an intense, beautiful connection with them. We put them on a pedestal. And we start to fault ourselves where we are unhealthy, where we are dealing with our trauma, where we are trying to heal. And some of these divine feminines, that was keeping them in this detached, aloof state towards you because you put them on that pedestal. They had a lot to live up to. The expectations, they had a lot to live up to in your eyes. Instead of just letting them be as they were, for you, it's not something that you did purposefully, okay? And if you did, that's something to think about. But I know a lot of us, I'm guilty of this. I didn't realize just until now how much of a pedestal I put my divine masculine on, and how much this caused him to be cut off, detached, and aloof emotionally, right? Because he could energetically sense that was the standard that I was holding him to. Poor thing, right? I didn't realize how much I had expected of him and the high standards that I held him to be that perfect person for me. And now that he's knocked down a peg, now that they've not been knocked down a peg in your mind, in your eyes, you're seeing them for how they really are, which is allowing closeness. This is a powerful reading. Closeness. You're seeing them for who they really are now. You're not seeing them through the eyes of them being and needing to be perfect. You can still revel in how much of a wonderful human being they are. But you understand now that they're fallible because they're human. They're perfectly imperfect. And this is allowing for closeness. This is allowing for the divine masculine now to come forward and be emotional with you. Be more close with you emotionally instead of being cut off and aloof. And that explains why, for some of you, you're seeing now, even though this seemingly situation is like a crisis or, where do we go from here moment, this is why they are being so, that they're bidding for connection. They're wanting to be close. They're wanting to be vulnerable because you're seeing them for who they are now. So Divine Feminine, don't be confused or think that the emotion, the display of emotion that your Divine Masculine is bringing toward you is because of what happened. No, it's because you are able to see them clearly. The rose-colored glasses, the rose-tinted glasses are off now. They're just a human being. And just seeing them for the first time, look at this. Now something new can come from this place because it's coming from a place of authenticity. It's coming from a place of truth, of realness. Because you're seeing them for who they are. And I think a lot of you are coming to realize how, and it's no one's fault, this is the way that it had to go, right? So just remember that. But a lot of you are seeing and are connecting the dots and being like, wow, I can see how the high level of expectation that I had, oh, that's scary. The high level of expectation that I had for my person has led us to this situation. They didn't know this on a conscious level, but energetically it still made it play out, right? The energy dynamic was that they pedestaled and they had a lot to live up to. And they would put that pressure on themselves and they would feel that pressure from you and they would be detached. They would be cut off from their emotions. And it's interesting because that's not their natural state. And you knew that. And you would always wonder, like, well, in the beginning, they used to be so this, they used to be so that. Like, why has it changed a year in? Because of the expectations. Because at the beginning of the connection, there was no expectations because you didn't know this person from a bar of soap. You were taking them as they were. Let that sink in. You were taking them as they were. So now you are learning how to take them as they are. You are learning how to take yourself as you are. Something beautiful and new can blossom from this. Now, this doesn't mean that whatever happened, the fear or pain from that goes away, right? That confrontation. That is being healed. But with this new awareness, that healing can happen. Look at this, 212 on the timer. This is victory, success. And a completion of a cycle. Guys, you literally cannot make this up. Strength. You can do this. With this new awareness that they are just a person, they are fallible. Doesn't mean that this is wrong. Doesn't mean this isn't your twin. Doesn't mean this is the wrong person. They haven't hurt you, but they did something or said something or you found out something that made you question. Yeah. And it made you go cold and it made you question, do I need to leave? Do I need to go? Do I need to withhold? Do I need to go back to this toxicity? No. The light at the end of the tunnel says no. All right, guys, I'm having a sale on my one-to-one readings. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, head to the